Something else we're going to add here is some wildcard characters, which for SQL is the percent sign. We're going to put those inside the SQL inverted commas, but outside the PHP ones. And what these percent signs are going to do is it's going to make the query find all instances where this variable is found anywhere within this field. So any number of characters could come before or after the value of this variable. So that the user will be able to match, for instance, all shops whose names contain the letter E, if they so wished, or all shops whose name contain only part of their name, rather than having to specify the whole name. So that's our SQL string, and then we need to run that string using the MySQL query command, and then we're going to run through the records that this query finds in a very similar way to the way in which we did in the last chapter. We're going to fetch an associative array for every row of the results, and then we're going to use list and each functions to go through each of the columns. This works in exactly the same way as the last chapter. One thing that we're going to add, and this is just a design thing, is we're going to put a bold tag to either side of the actual field value. This is just to make the values stand out from the names of the fields so that it's easier to read. And then we're going to put line break at the end there, in between each field, and then we're going to put an extra line break in between each record. Then we'll need to close both those while loops with the curly brackets, and we'll need a close PHP tag as well. Another line break, and let's put in a very simple little hyperlink, and all this is going to do is allow the user to go back and do another search once they've read their results, if they so wish. All that remains is to close the body tag and the HTML tag, and let's save our script. And we'll test this in the browser. We go back to search by name HTML. Let's test this out by entering some data here. So let's try the word record, because a lot of these record shops contain the name record within the name. Now let's see. Explosive records been returned, rhythm records, deeper beat records, and bleep bleep records. All of these contain the text record within their names. So we can conclude that our search script is working pretty well. We haven't tested it. We're going to go on to that in the next movie. But it's doing pretty much what we want it to do. If we take a look at the source of this page, then as we can see, all it returns is the data. None of the PHP script is seen by the browser, as I've explained before right in chapter 1, but it's useful to see a good example of that. In our next movie, we're going to look at the things that are wrong with this script and the ways in which, by entering some invalid data, we can end up with some unexpected and unwanted results.